TV, sponsored by Markham Image. Now, we're about to have some really insightful conversation. I'm joined here by Grant from Winkworth, and it's really interesting because can you tell us all about your industrial placement scheme?
Yeah, so every year we do our best to get at least one industrial undergraduate placement into our company. Some years we take two. This year we've taken two. The reason for taking two actually was I was so impressed with the candidates that we were interviewing for one. I offered a second candidate a new role that I wasn't actually trying to fill.
Wonderful.
She's here today, actually, Felicity.
Oh, brilliant. I have to have a nice chat with Felicity later. And so have there been, over the years of you offering industrial placements, there been any particular highlights that you think, wow, that was quite something that we pulled off?
Our very first industrial placement was such a success. It gave me the confidence to go again and again. I've been doing this for about 11 or 12 years, and probably over that time 15, 16, 17 undergrads have come through. We've moved factory one of those years, about 6 years ago. The undergraduate that we had that year, we made him project manager for relocating the factory. And the guys get a title that helps them do their job when they're in the company, so they're not called student this or student that.
Yes.
And when we finished our move and people were following up after we'd moved, people were still asking for the project manager, whose name was George actually, but he'd gone back to college, and really, I thought he was, so we're able to give him quite a lot of responsibility and authority, and everyone has risen to the challenge and the freedom that we've given them.
And that's wonderful. And so once the placement comes to an end, what happens next?
Typically, we'll use the outgoing student who's going to return to university to take lead of the incoming student, give them a month's handover or so, let them understand and transfer the knowledge that they've acquired to some extent as a handover. Then they go back to university. What they do with their lives after that is their choice. We've had about 5 or 6 come back to us and work for a couple of years. In fact, our very first one came back as an HR manager 2 years ago and spent a couple of years really helping us implement new HR systems and packages into the company. So the relationships stay alive, but not with any formal bond or tie, just knowledge that we're here and they've got assets, we've got an environment, and they can enjoy it or exploit it if the timing's right for all of us.
Well, Grant, that's wonderful. And stay tuned, because we'll be back shortly to have a chat with some of the industrial placement candidates in the flesh. So join us in a sec. So I'm joined by Brennan. Thank you very much for joining us, Brennan. And you have just completed your industrial placement with Winkworth. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's been a great year. I mean, I've been at university, I've done 2 years, I've got 2 more to go. But yeah, having that break in the middle of my degree has been really beneficial. So applying the stuff you've learned during your degree, using it in an actual job, being paid for it, and just gaining experience throughout the past year it's been great. I've spent most of my time working with everyone around the business. I haven't been given an admin job.
Yeah.
It's, the sort of typical student job of you make the tea for everyone. Yeah, it hasn't been like that at all.
So what is your role within what was your role within Winkworth?
So I was a project engineer.
Okay.
So I was doing a whole variety of stuff. So I looked after logistics, I looked after the day-to-day project, what was going on in the factory. I took over testing projects as well before they went out. So I had a lot of responsibility in my role.
Okay. And what attracted you to Winkworth in particular?
I think it was something I wasn't expecting. It was different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the typical big business. You take on the student role and you just get given the admin jobs.
Yeah.
It was something I felt I could actually be involved in.
Okay. And would you recommend it to somebody else?
I would, yeah. Yeah,
Great.
no, it's been a good year. I think any student should take the opportunity to get a placement if they can.
Well, Brennan, thank you very much for sharing your experiences.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers.
I'm joined by the lovely Felicity. So Felicity, tell us where you are with your journey with Winkworth in the industrial placement scheme.
So I started my industrial placement about 2 months ago. So I got the job in about February. So I've been preparing for it at uni until now. So since I've been there, I've had a month's changeover with Connor, who you're going to speak to soon. And he's just taught me the ropes, transferred over all of his jobs to me. And then I tried to make it as relevant to my degree as possible so that I can just learn all the skills that I need to and that I'm interested in.
And so what is your degree?
So I did chemical engineering at Manchester.
And what's your role within Winkworth at the moment?
So I'm part of the sales team. So
Okay.
I have a very different role to Brennan. So I'm basically just a support role for all the sales engineers. So I assist with all the lab trials, and I just do any work that they deem that I'm able to do.
And are you finding that to be really beneficial, really kind of empowering?
Yeah, I'm definitely learning a lot. It's just it's definitely a learning curve because
I bet.
obviously I've never been able to do much work experience in engineering business before, so I'm just trying to learn as much as possible in the time that I have.
Are you excited about the year ahead?
Yeah, I think it's going to be actually really fun. With the amount that I've learned already, I think it's going to be very beneficial for me, for my degree.
Well, Felicity, I wish you all the best for the year ahead and have a
you.
great one. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'm joined by Connor. So tell me where you are on your journey with Winkworth placements.
So at the moment I'm on my way to finish my 3-year bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering at Coventry University. So I've just finished my placement year at Winkworth's and I've just gone back and started my final year.
And what was your role within Winkworth?
So I'm quite lucky. I held 2 roles within Winkworth.
All right.
So I started off as a sales engineer, taking over from Tony, who you'll talk to in a second, and helping and supporting customers after they've already bought our product and making sure the bits and bobs they need to keep them maintained are supplied to them within time. But then I got given the opportunity to move down and work with Brennan in the projects role and support the mixes from the ground up, from the initial sale to when they go out the facility. So I've held multiple roles, and in a small company like this, you get to meet every department. It's quite nice, actually.
And how does that make you feel kind of going back into university?
It's given me a wealth of knowledge that I'll take through university and beyond. It's, it gives you experiences that you can't just get from university. But it gives you soft skills as well as the technical skills like communications, people skills, kind of. So it's very important to just not just do university, to experience the working world before you fully commit to it, if you will, after university.
And would you recommend an industrial placement with Winkworth to any
100%.
peers?
100%. The fact it's such a small company is they put more responsibility on you. They value their students way more than just, as Brennan said, any old company where you just make tea. So you're given a lot more responsibility, and they put a lot more trust in you, and you get more out of it because of it.
Connor, thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
So I'm joined by Umar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
so
you very much.
tell us about what attracted you to Winkworth's industrial placement scheme.
I just thought it was a place where I could learn a lot of things, so it just seemed like a good company to go to, and the work they do is quite interesting. So I just decided to go there. Yeah.
And what are you studying at university?
I'm studying mechanical engineering, same uni as Brennan.
Okay, nice. And so Brennan, you're just taken over from the role that he's completed.
Yeah, that's
is that
right.
correct?
Yeah, he taught me quite a lot of things that normally a lot of places you'd have to learn a lot of things yourself, but he helped me out a lot. And if it wasn't for him, I would not be able to do the role. So yeah, it was really helpful.
So what does your role involve?
I'm the project engineer there, so I do a lot of things, basically the same things that Brennan did. A lot of the testings, organising the control panels, ordering parts, talking to customers, things like that. So it's a lot of responsibility, but it's nice that people rely on you and things like that. So it's good, yeah.
So do you feel this is offering you a lot of skills that will be useful to take back to university and beyond?
Yeah, definitely, because it's not just in university, but later on in life, it's skills that can help me out a lot. So yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And with the rest of your studies and the rest of your placement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
I'm joined here by Tony. Tony, tell us about your journey with Winkworth.
Yeah, so I was a industrial placement student 2 years ago. I really enjoyed my year, which I've completed. I've now gone back to uni, completed my final year at university last May, and I've come back to Winkworth as a full-time graduate employee.
And what were you studying at university? What's the course you completed?
Yeah, so I was studying a integrated master's in mechanical engineering.
Okay. Oh, lovely. And what drew you back to go and work with Winkworth full time?
Yeah, so Winkworth is quite a bespoke company, so all machines are quite different. which means there's always like a learning curve
Okay.
to what you're doing. And that's something that I really enjoy, especially since when you're leaving university, you're not really learning as much. But
Yeah.
at this company, that sort of fulfills my wish of continuously learning and improving.
And would you recommend the industrial placement scheme to your peers?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed my industrial placement. I've learned a lot, and I think other students can also benefit from being in an industrial placement in a small business. Mhm.
I wish you all the best, Tony.
Mhm.
Enjoy your career with Winkworth. I hope it'll be a long and happy one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.